Senator Lindsey Graham, asking for the declassification of some of the paperwork related to the FISA warrant. In your book, this is one of the themes you hit very hard. What you say is the deep state's efforts to unseat the president, Peter Strzok's insurance policy, if you will. Now, the first IG report out didn't actually result in any kind of prosecution against James Comey, even though it was clear that he did well, disregard, if you will, rules and regulations of the FBI. He broke them, he disregarded them, violated them.
Yes.
Why did prosecutors not take any action there?
Well, you know, I can't get into the mind of Bill Barr, but what I can tell you is this. As a prosecutor, I wouldn't want to start with a case with a left-leaning D.C. jury that's something they might think is not that significant and lose the first case against the head of the FBI.
Right.
Now, having said that, I don't know that I would have already made a decision on that. I might have waited until what I think Bill Barr is waiting for, and that is the FISA court corruption. There is no question, and I've been a judge, and I've issued warrants based upon applications from law enforcement all the time. If you have an application that is based on an unverified document that is paid for by the opposing party, that is money laundered through a law firm and Fusion GPS, then sent out to a foreign agent, and then brought to before a court when you know it's not verified, in fact, you say to the president months later it's not verified, then that is corruption. Right. That is defrauding the court. That's where James Comey faces the music.
Well, a lot of Republicans make the point that if Comey showed such disregard to the FBI rules and regulations that he broke as detailed in the first Inspector General report, what's to say that he didn't do it in other matters like the FISA warrants, that it's not really much of a stretch to assume that that kind of behavior didn't extend onwards? Why not declassify those materials if that's the thinking? Why aren't Republicans really pushing hard for that?
Well, I think the Republicans are pushing hard, and make no mistake, Lindsey Graham is a very strong Republican in this administration. But I think that the president is hoping that the system itself can work through these issues and that he'll declassify them at the right time. Look, what I write about in this book and what I wrote about in Liars, Leakers, and Liberals is, you know, the head of the FBI and the DOJ was corrupt under James Comey, and I worked with him. I was the elected DA when he was the United States Attorney. I mean, our buildings were right next to each other. He's a bright man who became an ideologue. He became an ideologue. He wanted Hillary to win, and he did everything that he could to upset the election of Donald Trump and to create that insurance policy that Strzok talked about. I have spent my career in justice, and if he is not made accountable for what happened before that FISA court, then at that point, I have to look back at my career and say, I've spent 30 years, you know, I prosecuted without fear or favor, without anybody getting a benefit. And if this guy gets away with almost creating a coup d'etat, then we've got a real problem in America.
And as you say, that's something that you detailed in your previous book and also in this book. Now, I read the book over this weekend.
You did?
I did indeed. Over my Labor Day weekend, I was lying by the pool at a hotel, and I got to tell you, I got some very dirty looks as I was holding up the book poolside. In fact, one of the people by the pool had some choice words that she hissed at me as she walked past me reading the book.
Isn't that a shame?
And, you know, it really crystallized to me the era that we're in, that we're having this complete intolerance for non-liberal perspectives, that I get dirty looks for reading
and that's
a book.
shame.
I'm going to assume it was because of the book, and the comments indicated that it was, by the way, questioning my choice of literature. How did we get here, Judge?
Well, that's why I wrote Radicals, Resistance, and Revenge. The radicals are so unhinged by the fact that this president was elected, and he is doing a great job. The economy is soaring. We've got more jobs than people to fill them. ISIS is obliterated in the Middle East. We've got the embassy moved from where it was to Jerusalem, and I was there on that particular day to celebrate that. And, you know, we've got all kinds of good things happening in this country. country. But it has gotten to the point where they want to cut back our First Amendment rights to say what we want to say. We're being taken off of Facebook and Twitter. We're being doxxed.
When you say they, you mean
the radicals.
Social media. You don't mean any particular Democrats are trying to cut off our First Amendment rights.
I'm talking about all of the people who are ascribed to this liberal progressive ideology. The people at the pool who didn't like that you were reading my book. Deborah Messing, who wants to know, I mean, she's another Hollywood hypocrite. She wants to know who's attending a Trump fundraiser so that then they can let their producers know or directors know the people they don't want to work with. This is McCarthyism. We have free speech in this country. We are allowed to vote for whomever we want. But the hate is so intense, they have a plot to remake America, to shut down the right, to make sure that we can get as many legals coming in as 144,000 in 1 month, give them a license and let them vote.